Welcome to the latest remote edition of RPPV News, bringing you stories from across the Mornington Peninsula. I'm Catie Sharp, and our top items for this edition are: our Mayor pleads with people to stay away from the peninsula. A campaign to make the peninsula officially regional gains momentum. Handshakes and invitations get a Frankston councillor in hot water. McDonald's is coming to Safety Beach, and not everyone is loving it. Plans are revealed for a multi-million-dollar technology park in Somerville, and a mystery surrounds a change in diet by Phillip Island's penguins. Now we go to the full stories. Frankston and the peninsula are back in lockdown, and the Shire Mayor is unimpressed. Sam Hearn appeared on ABC News last week to decry the decision to lock down the region, which at the time had no active cases of COVID-19. The Mayor is concerned that this will encourage city people to view the peninsula as part of the area in which they are permitted to travel. However, if lockdown is lifted, it is possible that people would attempt to sneak into what they see as a safer region where they can socialise, as happened when the New South Wales border was closed and 50,000 Melbourneites were caught attempting to cross. Meanwhile, Mayor Hearn has pleaded with Melbourne people to stay away from the peninsula, which has the second most vulnerable population in Victoria. Police have been checking the addresses of people taking Peninsula Link exits this week, unfortunately too late to stop the hordes that arrived last weekend. Mayor Hearn has also been campaigning to shift the peninsula's classification from Metropolitan Council to Regional Municipality. This change would enable Shire businesses and residents to access regional grants and training subsidies, payroll tax concessions, and government services. The Shire has put its support behind a petition currently before the state government. Created by business lobby group the Committee for Mornington Peninsula, the petition is available for signatures until mid-August. Shadow Attorney General Edward O'Donoghue has also written to Premier Daniel Andrews supporting the move, adding that the current classification means the region loses out on infrastructure opportunities and business incentives. Mr. O'Donoghue stated that the issues stand to smash and destroy hundreds of hardworking small businesses and families. We go now to Shivani Pillay for a local update on the pandemic.
Thanks, Catie. There are 2,128 cases currently active, with the total number of coronavirus cases in Victoria being 4,752. There are 109 people in hospital, 29 of whom are in intensive care. 29 people have died. We have seen recent consecutive numbers in the triple digits as Victorians in metropolitan Melbourne, which includes the Mornington Peninsula, commenced the first of 6 weeks of stage 3 restrictions. As at the 15th of July, 1 active case has appeared on the peninsula, taking the total to 65. Frankston also has 1 active case. Of concern, there are 790 cases indicating community transmission. These cases cannot be linked to other outbreaks. There are only 4 reasons to leave home: shopping for food and essential items, care and caregiving, daily exercise, work and study if you can't do it from home. Otherwise, you must stay at home. The message is not to be complacent and do not go anywhere if you have symptoms, however mild. We are urged to maintain social distancing and good hygiene practices as the situation escalates in Victoria. We're also encouraged to wear face masks whenever we leave home, especially when we can't socially isolate or distance, and whilst travelling on public transport. The COVID Safe app has had 6.5 million people who have downloaded the app. The app is said to be available in a number of languages. The Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Professor Michael Kidd, reported during a press release on the 14th of July that the app is picking up cases that contact tracers are picking up and those standing next to those with COVID-19. No specific details were provided of known cases detected by the app. In response to a question from the floor, Professor Kidd advised that at the Commonwealth level, they do not have details of how the app is used by contact tracers. The Mornington Peninsula Shire has expressed concern about our inclusion in the metro region and the adverse impact on the health and well-being of those on the peninsula. Given that we have no active cases, that is at the time of restrictions being imposed, and the disproportionate impact on local businesses, there is a concern raised. Mornington Peninsula residents are angry that they've been singled out for lockdown, while Geelong, on the other side of Melbourne's Port Phillip Bay, remains free, despite having more COVID-19 cases. Geelong, which is in the southwest, has 5 active cases, while Mornington Peninsula only 1, which emerged after restrictions were imposed. Businesses on the peninsula fear that they will not survive the latest lockdown. And locals are furious at holiday homeowners who have suddenly appeared and flocked down to the peninsula, despite the direction to reside at your principal place of residence, unless, of course, you have to undertake necessary maintenance or repairs. Dr. Sally Shaw on RPPFM Breakfast urged those with holiday homes not to travel back and forth from the city and effectively preserve the bubble on the peninsula. You can provide feedback to the Shire on mornpen.vic.gov, have your say, inclusion in metropolitan region. There are also 2 petitions in front of the state government. One is asking for the peninsula to be excluded from stage 3 restrictions, and the other asks for the peninsula to be recognised as a regional area and not part of metropolitan Melbourne. Both petitions are at parliament.vic.gov.au. This week saw a case of mistaken identification when Somerville Village Meats was reported to have had a coronavirus cluster. However, it turned out to be a business with a similar name in Tottenham, which is in the Melbourne West. The popular Somerville butcher and its loyal customers and community were devastated by the adverse impact on the business. 57 police officers at Frankston Police Station are in isolation awaiting COVID-19 results after a second positive test of an officer. The reception counter is closed, with members of the local community advised to attend their next closest station in Carrum Downs at this time. And as a result of the pandemic, the CEO of Qantas has advised that international flights are unlikely to resume until July 2021. Flight bookings to New Zealand are now unavailable until the 1st of September, while flights elsewhere are no longer available until the 28th of March 2021. And in good COVID-19 news, you can still go over the sea, well, over the bay, on the Sorrento Queenscliff Ferry, which is operating as an essential service, but you will need to have one of the 4 good reasons to go. Catching the ferry to engage in dolphin watching is not a valid reason, unfortunately, but we can look forward to doing that in the future. That day will come and we will get there together. That's the COVID-19 update. I'm Shivani Pillay. Back to you, Katie.
Thank you, Shivani. A Frankston councillor has been labelled irresponsible after releasing a video encouraging people to visit the city during lockdown. Councillor Steve Toms posted a video on social media last Tuesday in which he invited people to visit Frankston and support local businesses, and at one point shook a trader's hand, breaching social distancing rules. The video was taken down after complaints from residents, and Councillor Toms issued an apology, blaming the handshake on instinct. Rumours abound that a McDonald's restaurant is to open in Safety Beach, and locals are not happy about it. A planning application has been submitted to demolish a service station shop and house at the corner of Marine Drive and the Nepean Highway. In its place will be a new petrol station and convenience restaurant, reportedly McDonald's. The intersection is a busy one, and local residents and businesses are concerned about the congestion the restaurant will cause, as well as its impact on smaller local restaurants and the environment. The application is on display until the 30th of July. Coming up after the break, Somerville may be home to the multi-million-dollar technology park.
Hi everyone, Obviously, in the state of Victoria, we're back in an extremely risky and fragile situation with the rate of coronavirus transmission we're seeing. And we know here on the peninsula we're at risk as well, and in recent days have seen some positive cases identified down here. Obviously, we've been active in advocating to the state government in recent times that they're really doing everything they can to support our community's safety and well-being down here. And we have seen some great wins on that, where they have amended and improved the daily exercise restrictions to make sure people are only able to do that, leave their home to exercise and move to the closest local option available, so that people can't be coming from one side of the city all the way down to the peninsula to swim or golf or fish. So that'll be really important that we're not seeing that traffic. But we also really need to play our role and where the ball is in our court as a community, really double down on what we can do. And we did that so well in the first wave we saw. We got down to zero for weeks and weeks, and we need to commit again to physical distancing, to hand hygiene, to living our lives week to week in line with those restrictions. Doing that means we're caring for ourselves, caring for each other, and it's the best way to get out of the situation we're at the moment. It's the only way we can get out of it. So I'd encourage you to do that. I'd also encourage you to redouble our efforts. Again, we've done an amazing job caring for each other and checking in on each other's well-being. Keep doing that. Check in on your neighbours, friends and family. Let us know if people need practical help. We're still doing our care packages. And let's keep committed to each other and making sure we're all getting through this together. It's what matters most. Thanks, everyone.
Battery World now open in Mornington.
We know batteries. We know our 75 D23Ls from our DIN 65 LHs. And we know which is best for you. We have the range and a spark no one else can match, because we live and breathe batteries. Those beautiful boxes and cylinders that power our lives and our passions. That's why we're the batteryologists. We're Battery World.
Battery World Shop 1, 43 Mornington Tyre Road, Mornington.
Welcome back. Plans have been revealed for a new $450 million technology park at Somerville. Driven by the technology company Sealight, which is already based there, the proposed park will offer 700 construction jobs and 1,500 STEM-related jobs when complete. Sealight CEO Chris Proctor told MP News that once full, the park would bring in $1.2 billion in economic value. The proposed site is 50 hectares of portland on Bungower Road. MP News has reported on a study looking at the relationship between climate change and what penguins eat. Scientists have observed that penguins at Phillip Island have been changing their eating patterns and are trying to determine if this is due to climate change. Southeastern Australia waters are warming up at 4 times the global average, resulting in a climate change hotspot. Penguins, who traditionally eat small fish like sardines, have begun eating less nutritious jellyfish and salps, but it is unclear whether this is because they are opportunistic eaters or because their feeding grounds are changing. This adaptability will ensure their survival, which is good news for our tiny Western Port friends. The income derived from penguin tourism is greater than all commercial fisheries in Victoria combined. A draft master plan is open for feedback for the Emil Matson Reserve in Mount Eliza. Improvements are proposed for the cricket nets, netball courts and pavilions, which will include new change rooms and storage space. A larger car park, better traffic management and new walkways are also part of the plan. Locals are invited to comment on the master plan at the Shire website. Frankston has a new automatic weather station in Ballum Park. Away from the buffeting winds of the old station on the foreshore, this new addition is the latest in the Bureau's global network of 720 weather stations, which it uses to record, monitor and forecast the weather. The Bureau shares its data collected from stations across Australia, its offshore islands, and Antarctica with weather agencies around the globe. The Bureau's regional manager, Simon McCulloch, said the new weather station would complement the existing foreshore station, which will continue to provide wind observations, which represent bayside conditions and will continue to be important to local maritime users. And the Fred Hollows Foundation is calling for nominations for the Fred Hollows Humanity Award, which recognises Year 6 students who demonstrate compassion, integrity, and kindness towards others. Parents, teachers, principals, and community members can nominate a child in Year 6 who has made a difference by Friday, the 11th of September. One junior ambassador from each state and territory will be selected. Nominations can be made at hollows.org. And now we go to Alana with the coming week's weather report.
Hi, it's Alana with your RPPV 7-day weather forecast for the Mornington Peninsula. Thursday the 16th of July. We'll have early morning fog that'll clear for a partly cloudy afternoon and expect a 20% chance of showers in the afternoon as well. On Friday, we'll have early morning fog again and then a sunny afternoon to start the weekend, and we'll reach a top of 13 degrees. On Saturday, we'll again have a partly cloudy morning that will clear for a sunny afternoon, and we'll get to a top of 14 degrees, dropping down to just a low of 4 overnight. And into Sunday though, we'll have increasing chances of showers. Expect at least 2 to 4 millimetres of rain on Sunday, and we'll reach just a top of 14. On Monday, it's looking like raining conditions will be ahead. We'll have 95% chance of showers and expect 3 to 6 millimetres of rain. On Tuesday though, we'll have showers that are easing, and we'll reach a top of 13 degrees to start next week. We'll see you then.
And now on to our local surf identity, Muzz, with the surf report.
Good morning and welcome to this week's Mornington Peninsula Surf Report. This week was exactly as said, a fairly average week of waves, so not too much surfing getting done. Looks like it's got a bit of an improvement towards this weekend into early next week. Still no sign of a big swell, weird weather conditions. The east coast low has blocked up everything, so we've had a week of southeasterlies, which is in winter we have the dead opposite northwesterlies, and it's not happening. But you will get wet this week, and again, be nice to each other in the water. It's been a bit angsty in the water, so we're all in the same boat, guys. So enjoy your chance of getting waves. Probably Sunday's the pick of it this week. Have a good week, and I'll see you next week.
And that's all from our team here at RPPV News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Remember, you can only go out to buy essentials, go to work or school, provide care, or exercise locally. If you're feeling at all unwell, get tested and stay at home until your results are back. Wash your hands and shop locally to support our community. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.